The words hit me like a slap in the face, sharp and unyielding. "Ma'am, you need to leave right now. You're looking suspicious, and we can't have that here." The store manager's voice boomed across the aisle, his eyes narrowed under furrowed brows, staring at my hijab as if it were a threat. My heart pounded in my chest, a mix of shock and humiliation washing over me like a cold wave. I clutched my toddler's hand tighter, feeling her tiny fingers tremble in mine. What had I done? Just moments ago, I was picking out groceries for our family dinner, and now this, being singled out, judged, and ejected in front of everyone? Whispers rippled through the shoppers around us, their glances like daggers. I wanted to scream that I was just a mother, just like any other, but the words stuck in my throat. As security escorted me out the sliding doors, the sting of injustice burned deep, leaving an information gap in my soul. Why me? And what truth would come to light? My name is Aisha Rahman, and on that ordinary Tuesday afternoon, in our quiet suburban town outside Chicago, my world tilted on its axis. I'm a 32-year-old mother of two, with a loving husband who works as an engineer, and a home filled with the laughter of our children, little Sarah, who's 3 and full of endless questions, and our baby boy Amir, who was napping at home with my mother-in-law that day. I wear my hijab proudly, a symbol of my faith and my identity as a Muslim woman. It's part of who I am, woven into the fabric of my daily life, like the prayers I offer 5 times a day or the halal meals I prepare with care. But in moments like this, it becomes a target, a reason for others to see danger where there is only devotion. That day started like any other. I woke up at dawn for Fajr prayer, the soft light filtering through our bedroom curtains as I whispered words of gratitude to Allah for another day. My husband, Kareem, kissed me goodbye before heading to work, reminding me to pick up some fresh vegetables for the biryani I planned to make. Sarah tugged at my skirt, begging to come along to the store. "Please, Mama, I want to help choose the apples." Her big brown eyes sparkled with innocence, and how could I say no? We bundled up against the crisp autumn air, me in my modest abaya and hijab, her in a pink jacket with unicorn patches, and drove to the local supercenter, a sprawling place called Fresh Mart that we'd visited countless times without issue. As we wandered the aisles, Sarah chattered away about her preschool friends, her small hand pointing at colorful cereal boxes. I smiled, adding items to our cart: tomatoes, onions, a loaf of bread. My mind wandered to the evening ahead, imagining Kareem's tired but happy face when he came home to the aroma of spices. It was in the produce section that I first noticed something off. A young man in a hooded sweatshirt lingered nearby, his movements jerky as he glanced around. He wasn't shopping. Instead, he kept eyeing the displays, his hands fidgeting in his pockets. I've always been observant, perhaps a trait from my days as a teacher before I chose to stay home with the kids, but something about him set off a quiet alarm in my head. But I pushed it aside, focusing on Sarah as she reached for a shiny red apple. That's when it happened. The man suddenly grabbed a handful of expensive electronics from a nearby end cap display, earbuds, chargers, things like that, and shoved them into his backpack. My eyes widened in disbelief. Without thinking, I stepped forward, my voice calm but firm. "Excuse me, sir. I think you might have forgotten to pay for those." He froze, his face paling, and then he bolted towards the exit. Chaos erupted, alarms blared, shoppers gasped, and I stood there, heart racing, with Sarah clinging to my leg. I hadn't touched him or chased him. I just spoke up, hoping to alert someone. But in the confusion, the store manager rushed over, his face red with agitation. He didn't see the thief. His eyes locked on me. "You, what did you do?" he demanded, pointing a finger at my chest. I blinked, confused. I saw that man taking things. I tried to stop him, but he wasn't listening. His gaze flicked to my hijab, then to Sarah, and back. "Looking suspicious, huh? We don't need troublemakers like you causing scenes." "Troublemaker? Me?" The words echoed in my mind as security guards appeared, flanking me like I was the criminal. Shoppers murmured, some nodding in agreement, others averting their eyes. One woman whispered to her companion, "You never know these days." My cheeks burned with shame. Sarah started to cry, her whimpers piercing my heart. "Mama, why are they mad?" I tried to explain again, my voice steady despite the tremor inside. "Please check the cameras. You'll see what happened." But the manager waved me off. Out, now, and don't come back. The guards guided us to the door, their grips firm but not rough. Yet the humiliation was crushing. Outside, the wind whipped around us, carrying the distant hum of traffic. I scooped Sarah into my arms, her tears soaking my shoulder. It's okay, Habibti. Allah knows the truth. But inside, doubt gnawed at me. Why did he assume I was the problem? Was it my appearance, my faith? I faced subtle biases before, stares at the airport, questions about my accent, even though I was born in the US. But this was blatant, raw. We drove home in silence, save for Sarah's sniffles. My hands shook on the steering wheel, replaying the scene over and over. What if they called the police? What if this stained my reputation in our community? Kareem and I had worked so hard to build a life here, attending interfaith events, volunteering at the mosque's food drives. I parked in our driveway, the familiar side of our two-story home with its neatly trimmed lawn, doing little to calm the storm inside. My mother-in-law, Fatima, opened the door, her warm smile fading as she saw our faces. Aisha, what's wrong? I burst into tears then, recounting everything as we sat in the living room. Fatima listened, her wrinkled hands patting mine. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un, she murmured. To Allah we belong and to Him we return. It was a reminder of patience in adversity, but my heart ached. When Kareem came home early, after my frantic call, his face darkened with concern. They can't do that to you, he said, pulling me into a hug. Sarah, now playing quietly with her toys, looked up. Daddy, the man was mean to Mama. Kareem knelt beside her. Sometimes people make mistakes, but we stay strong, okay? That evening, as I prepared a simple dinner, forgoing the biryani in my distress, I couldn't shake the injustice. My faith teaches forgiveness, but also justice. What if we go back? I suggested to Kareem over tea. Ask to see the cameras. He nodded thoughtfully. Or contact the corporate office. But Aisha, are you sure? It might stir more trouble. I hesitated, fear creeping in. What if they twisted the story? What if my speaking up was seen as aggressive? But then I thought of Sarah, of teaching her to stand tall. We have to, for the truth. The next morning, after dropping Sarah at preschool, I returned to Freshmart alone. My stomach knotted as I approached the customer service desk. A different employee was there, a young woman named Lisa, who looked sympathetic. I was asked to leave yesterday, I explained, my voice steady. There was a misunderstanding. Could I speak to the manager about the security footage? She glanced around nervously, but nodded. Let me get him. The same manager appeared, his expression hardening upon seeing me. You again. I told you not to come back. I took a deep breath, channeling the resilience my parents instilled in me. Immigrants who faced their own hardships, yet thrived with dignity. Please, sir, just review the cameras. It will show I did nothing wrong. He scoffed, crossing his arms. Why should I? You caused the disturbance. But Lisa interjected softly. Mr. Thompson, maybe we should check, for the record. Reluctantly, he led us to the back office, muttering under his breath. The room was cramped, filled with monitors flickering with live feeds. He pulled up the footage from the previous day, fast-forwarding to the produce aisle. There it was, the hooded man stuffing items into his bag. Then me, stepping forward calmly, saying something, inaudible, but clear in intent. He bolted, and I stood there, protecting Sarah. No aggression, no theft, just a concerned citizen. Mr. Thompson's face paled as the truth unfolded on screen. I didn't see that. Silence hung heavy. I could have lashed out, demanded an apology right then, but my faith guided me. We all make mistakes, I said gently, but assumptions can hurt. He rubbed his temples, sighing.
I'm sorry, ma'am, truly. I overreacted. It wasn't just words. His shoulders slumped with genuine regret. He offered a gift card, but more importantly, he promised to retrain staff on bias awareness. Word spread quickly. A local news outlet picked up the story after I shared it anonymously in our community group, not for revenge, but to highlight the need for understanding. Support poured in. Neighbors left flowers on our porch. The mosque organized a dialogue event with store representatives. Kareem and I attended, sharing our experience with open hearts. Sarah, too young to fully grasp it, drew a picture of Mama the hero for her class. In the end, that painful moment became a turning point. I proved not just my innocence, but the strength of kindness over prejudice. As I tucked Sarah into bed that night, she whispered, "Mama, you're brave." I smiled through tears. With Allah's help, we all can be. The cameras told the truth, but my dignity sealed it.